recording, maybe. Oh, I hit leave meeting instead of got it. I'm sorry. Okay, let's start again. Swami, I guess it wasn't good enough for me. All right. Have your lotus feet. You do everything. Thank you. That's the quick one. The Reader's Digest version. It's good to be back. We're going to discuss tonight the sadhana of constant integrated awareness. And I hope everybody appreciates this. Discourses that we're going to read from Swami and ask any questions that you like along the way, so that we can feel free to deepen your understanding through questions if you have it at any time. Okay. I'm just going to fix this a minute. Okay. Thank you.
This is a little pamphlet, The Unfolding of Truth Through Unity of Thought, Word, and Deed, based on the Divine Discourses of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Swami says, having understood that the divine force resident in us is the only truth, we see all around us change and decay. This should make one think how foolish it is to waste our precious lives in the pursuit of material pleasures. Human life is rare and precious, and it behooves all of us to utilize it for gaining knowledge of the self. So Swami was always urging us to not waste our lives, that we have precious gift of a life, and the self, our real self, the truth, is our goal. Truth in spirituality is what's unchanging. It's not affected by time or the gunas or the qualities. It's not affected by anything. So it's the unchanging. So when we look at everything in terms of that highest truth, that's when we see that just about everything we think about and value is pretty much temporary. And so in that temporary state, it doesn't make us happy. It can only make us happy for a moment, and then it's gone. And then the unhappiness lasts a moment, and then that's gone. Everything is just temporary. Let's say that.
So let's think of it this way. Think of it in a very practical way. This is the philosophy. Make it practical. Another way to think about this is, first there's the absolute God, what we call God, Brahman, right? And then the Big Bang happens. First there was the word Om, and then the light, and then us as souls, and then we precipitate down into physical forms. Okay.
That's very practical.
Yeah, well, I'll get into the practical part. Think of it this way. You were never born and you will never die. And all that is manifested, Swami says, is one with God. So that includes each one of us. And constant integrated awareness is saying to yourself, or we say to ourselves, everything I see is God. Everything I look at isn't what it appears to be. My five senses are lying to me. They're not seeing the truth underneath it. The truth underneath it I can see from my heart, from my soul, from consciousness itself. I can see and I know that we are one, because when I close my eyes, I can feel it. So when I open my eyes, the eyes seeing things, the ears hearing things, the senses get distracted from the reality. And constant integrated awareness is realizing that the five senses are distracted from the reality. And that what we feel inside when we meditate and go beyond the mind is the reality, closer to it and even it, if you're lucky enough, which all of you have been. So I want to remember that while I'm walking, talking, and breathing every day. That's constant integrated awareness. Just saying, everything is one. This is the body of God, and I'm walking in it. And I'm in that. I'm the raindrop in the ocean. I've dissolved into the ocean or not, however I feel. Doesn't matter. Constant integrated awareness is saying to yourself, I am one with the absolute and everything in it. This universe is my body. I am one with God. The ego will say, no, I can't really think that way. That's too arrogant, or it's too egotistical, or it's too magnanimous, or something. That's the ego. Spirituality consists on transcending the ego, ignoring the ego, but dealing with the ego. So when the ego pops up and says, that's not possible, I'm the doer, or no, I'm not one with God. That's the ego. It's been around for millions of years. It's not going easily, but you continuously say, I am one with God. Everything I see is God's body. Everything I see is me. I am I. That's constant integrated awareness. It's not that hard. But remembering is hard, especially when your brother or your sister or your wife or your husband or somebody else, your manager is yelling at you. Then it's hard.
So in terms of how we've been going through these classes, we've been meditating. And so the time comes when the meditation has to fill our whole life. It's not just sitting in a quiet room. It's just the total life that becomes the integration of all the parts of us become one, and all that we see that's seeming separate becomes one. And it's the work that we take the consciousness that we feel when we're meditating, say, hopefully we're meditating first thing in the morning, and then we go and we have our life. And so in that, we extend the meditation through our whole life, and it becomes something that's, we're the same, whether we're sitting with our eyes closed meditating, or whether we're with our family, or whether we're at work, or whether we're on a crowded airplane, or whatever we're doing. And like Al said, it gets harder. There's certain circumstances, it's very hard to keep in that state, but it's the whole purpose of life. The reason that, we're on Earth is because Earth isn't totally horrible or totally great. It's not a heaven world or hell world, it's both. And so to become able to go past the opposites, the pairs of opposites in yoga, is the ability to stay centered in constant the integration constantly, and the integration of everything into God, and awareness. We're still in that state, whether we're meditating or not meditating.
So in the process, don't deny anything. It's really not neti, not this, not this, not this. It's really not that. We're householders. It's really everything is God. Not this, not this, not that. Right. But everything is God. I'm just not seeing it for what it really is. We can say to ourselves, meditation quietly for whatever period of time we meditate is inspiration for true meditation, which is constant integrated awareness. It's inspires us when we get a taste of who we are beyond the mind, inspires us to remember who we are when we're in daily activity. And there's all sorts of tricks for doing that. One of them is worship, saying in the name of God, chanting the name of God. It's still in the mind when you chant the name of God. It's so that the mind stays quiet. But what if we got to the place where the mind's just quiet throughout the day? Now, you might say that's impossible. It is possible. But remember, the mind is a radio transmitter of our thoughts and feelings. Our desires and our attachments support those thoughts and feelings, our reactions, opinions, likes, dislikes. However, it is also a radio receiver. So the yogis, even the ones who are in Hum Brahmasmi, know that their radio receiving minds are still going to pick up what everybody is transmitting around them. So if you had the good fortune of sitting with Swami at any time, you would see in bhajans, for instance, or, when somebody else was giving a talk and he was just sitting there, you'd see him go like this. Occasionally go. He was negating the thoughts, negative thoughts that other people had. And when he goes like this, he lifts the vibration. And at times, he would look away when somebody was looking at him because it was with the wrong desire, whatever it may be, or that he was showing them to go beyond desire, even beyond the desire for his form. All sorts of things happened around him. But the fact is, we are all radio transmitters until we don't have anything to transmit but God. And then the glory is there, but you'll still have thoughts and feelings, but they're not yours. Don't get caught in them. Don't get caught in the thoughts and feelings of others by thinking they're your thoughts and feelings. Mostly they're other people's thoughts and feelings. If you've been meditating with us for any length of time here, you're beyond mind already. You know what beyond mind is, and you're beyond mind. But in the activity of a daily life, we can mistake other people's thoughts and feelings for our mind, but it's not. It's just letting us know what other people around us are feeling like and thinking like. And so just observe those clouds in the sky of consciousness as well as your own thoughts and feelings that come from the vasanas, for instance. So
the first time I experienced that was at a Sai Baba meeting when we were, doing singing bhajans, and I was having all these weird negative thoughts and doubts, and I was like, "Wow, this is weird," but I didn't understand what was going on. And then during the study circle, the person that had been sitting next to me said exactly that's what they were thinking, was all those things, and came very clear to me that I was just picking up their thoughts, that they were not my thoughts. And so usually now if I have negative thoughts, I pray. I pray for whoever it is that I'm picking up on. It's really important to always be conscious that we can change the space around us. We can change ourselves, so we can change whoever's thinking around us, and the thoughts, even of so Swami said, if you live in a peaceful way, if we live in a peaceful way with our family, then we can live in a peaceful way with the society and with the whole world. But it takes each person doing that work in themselves and in their families in the work, so that we can change the vibratory rate of the world. It's so crazy now because the world is just full of these electronic thoughts, the radio, the TV, the internet. They're all intense, thought forms that are created Unfortunately, the ones that get the most notice are the negative ones. And so that people just tune into these very negative thought forms, and that's not their thought form, but it's there in the atmosphere. And so when Swami says when we sing bhajans, it changes the atmosphere. When we meditate, it changes the atmosphere. When we live in a way where we are walking down the street and we're not having extra thoughts, we're just in a divine state where we're cognizing the divine everywhere, then that changes things. It's the only way to change anything. We can't do it. We can only change ourselves. We can't change other people, but we can change ourselves. So I'm just going to read another thing. Swami says, the human birth is indeed a divine opportunity for man to attain the highest truth. All human endeavor in day-to-day life must be performed with this constant integrated awareness that truth pervades everything.
You might say, oh, how can I do that? If you want to do it, it happens. The only thing that interferes with it is our seed desires, the vastas. Those are the past life things that we repeat every life until we overcome them or transcend them. It's easy to transcend them. Think about this. Without a body, how do I live? Because we live without a body after the body leaves. How do I live when I'm without a body? Live that way now. Don't delay. Within the body, live free of the body. Within the mind, live free of the mind. The body, mind, they're not separate. They're one. Descartes was wrong. They're not two things that somehow fuse together. They're one. Body, mind is one. Without a body, we don't have a mind. You might say, oh, well, there's the astral plane and there's the mental lower plane and all that. Yes, but we're not there. None of us are there. We don't have a mind without a body. We have a higher mind, intuitive mind, buddhi, at best. We have our soul, consciousness, the Atma. And if you know you're not your body mind in this life, intellectually, you really know you're not your body mind, because what body mind are you? The one that 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever. Which one? Which one will you be when the years have passed to 100 or 120? And before we had the body mind of this one, where were we and what were we? And who were we? And which one of the body minds are we, of the 1,008 or more body minds we've had? Think about it that way. And then you'll realize, I am I, the one that has continued to this date through thousands, tens of thousands, even years on Earth. Tens of thousands of years on Earth. If you know Swami, you were with Rama and Krishna. If you know Swami, you've been here a long time to know the avatar of this life. So let it go. Let all the earth nonsense go. That doesn't mean that you can't fulfill desires. Fulfillment of desires is important in order to transcend the desires. But fulfilling a desire leads to only another desire. So at some point, you're going to have to say, Swami, you do it. You show me what I need. You give me what I need, not what I want. It's up to you. I surrender, Sharanagati. But surrender is surrender of desires that hold us back, attachments that hold us back. Swami, I'm attached to my children. You bet. However, I am the custodian of those children, and they are your children. That's the attitude towards children and family. I am the custodian. I take care of them because you gave me that role of Dharma. I feed them, I nurture them, I love them, I educate them, I help to do it, but it's you doing it all. You're just using this body mind to do it. All souls are in the evolution of consciousness. All souls are going to come back to God sooner or later. All souls are going to be merged in God sooner or later. How long do you want to take? We are not here for ourselves. We are here to help others find the truth. If you know you're not your body mind, you're already liberated. First stage. You don't have to be born on earth again. But we had a teacher that Swami sent us to, is a great yogi. And he said he's coming back until the last grain of sand on the last beach is liberated. That's like millions and maybe billion years. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, that's a long time. Maybe one or two lifetimes, maybe. That's if I have a choice. I'd love to be with Prema Sai Baba, maybe even after that, I don't know. But another million years here, only an avatar can do that. Only an avatar. Only an avatar. And once somebody's liberated fully and knows their oneness with God in every way, constant integrated awareness here on earth, they are the avatar. And Swami has said that you are all avatars. You just don't know it. Embodiments of God, embodiments of love, embodiments of peace. Why? To help others find the same. Meditate with that in mind, and Swami will give you everything you need right away. Meditate with the purpose of serving humanity's freedom, true freedom, evolution of consciousness. Aham Brahmasmi. You will find truth almost immediately. So just think about that, how you can carry that out through the day and night. Right? Bunch of egos banging against each other. That's what Earth is. Why participate? What's the sound of one hand clapping?
Swami said, the Vedas refer to the four Mahabhagyas, Tat Tvam Asi, that thou art. And how many people follow that? Pranam Brahma, which means awareness of the divine, constant integrated awareness. That awareness, constant integrated awareness, only one that exists. What is it? Truth is one. Truth is one. Maybe we should meditate.
Yeah, we should meditate. However, think about that for a moment before we do meditate. Contemplate on what that really means. Roseanne, read it again.
Yes.
Contemplate on what it really means for you. Don't think, oh, this is intellectual, nice thing.
Pranam Brahma. That means awareness is divine. Constant integrated awareness. That awareness, constant integrated awareness, only one that exists. What is it? Truth is one.
Truth is one, not two. The delusion of the mind is that we're two or more. We're one. That's the reality. When we meditate together, that sometimes we all experience it. Let's experience it not just in meditation now. Let's experience it throughout the day and night. That's really divinity. So I'm going to experience it now in the restroom for a moment before we meditate. Doctor's orders. Think about that.
All right, does anyone have any questions?
Sairam, sister.
Sairam.
I know you talked about awareness, and I always wonder about awareness. How do we describe awareness, and how do we practically practice awareness?
Satchidananda, the truth, consciousness, bliss is God. So beyond consciousness is awareness, which is just an experience of the oneness. So what Swami says, it's the pragnanam, it's spelled Pragnanam, Brahma.
Prajnanam, yeah.
Yeah. So it means awareness is divine. So when we're meditating, do you ever notice how when the mind stops, we're just aware? And that's the whole point, I think, of meditating is to reach that awareness and become one. And then that, if we do it, we keep doing, we keep meditating, then that reaches out into the rest of our lives. It's not something we can just keep in one, in a half an hour or an hour when we're meditating in the morning. It has to expand into the rest of our lives. We want to ask Al that question again, and we can.
Yeah. Brother Al, I was asking Sister Roseanne, we describe awareness every time, Satchitananda. It comes up, and then sometimes I wonder, what is this real awareness? Just remembering that, okay, I'm not the body, I am the divine consciousness. I can tell that to myself. And how do you practically practice that awareness? And then we also hear about Namasmarana, all that we know, but then it becomes a ritual, right? And then where is that awareness part that connects us to the real source? And Sister was saying, okay, when you're quiet during the meditation, you feel that awareness, and that needs to expand. So if you have anything more to add, please.
That's true, what Roseanne's shared, but also think about it this way. Remembering Namasmarana is not awareness. That's mental remembering. Saying the name of God is mental repetition of the most subtle vibrations, the name of God, in order to transcend the mind. Transcending the mind, you can't force yourself to transcend the mind. That's meditation, consciousness, oneness, beyond the mind, beyond the senses. So we use these tricks of the intellect, the mind. That's why we said all sadhana is mental. It's all mental. It's all to calm the mind. Why? Because if you calm the mind doesn't receive the energy of reaction, doesn't receive the energy of fulfillment of desire or satisfying desires, and doesn't receive the energy of attachment. I want this, I love this person, I hope they never get hurt. It's up to God. God's the doer. We're the protective force that God uses to help others. However, it's all God doing it. And if you don't give the mind energy by reacting to it, participating in its thoughts, desires, attachments, feelings, opinions, likes, dislikes, all those things, guess what? The thoughts and feelings don't get any energy. And when they don't get any energy, you slip beyond it. That's awareness, slipping beyond the mind, beyond the senses, not being attached to the body mind. Now, if you think that you've never experienced it, that's not true. You've experienced it. If you've ever gone on a roller coaster ride, it's impossible not to be in the exact moment of awareness. Nobody's thinking, might be afraid, but you're just experiencing. The direct experiencing in the moment, the experiencer, the experienced, and the experiencing process are all one. That's constant integrated awareness. You might not know what the source of that oneness is because you just don't know. But that's being in the moment. That's pure awareness. You're just aware. You're living. You're just being. Being is awareness. Awareness, you can't say, let's do mindfulness, right? Okay, mindfulness. I'm going to pay attention to what is in the moment. Yeah, right, because it's just the mind paying attention. You're not going beyond the mind. Mindfulness doesn't really go beyond the mind. It's the problem with it.
Mm.
So we can follow the breath. We use so hum because the mantra takes us to a subtle level which the mind cannot contain or hold. The mind cannot contain the real vibration of so hum. So it eventually just gives up because it can't hold it. And then that's awareness, where it thinks Om. It can't contain the real vibration of Om 100,000 times the vibratory rate of the spoken word. So it just gives up because the mind can't hold it. And that's awareness. Slipping beyond the senses, beyond the mind is a pure awareness, real awareness. So we can be aware of our circumstances, but that's not awareness.
Mm.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I believe so. It just happens. It's not what you do. It's not something we practice, but what we practice is what you're telling us now. Meditation and other things. Okay. I get it.
Maslow used to call it peak experiences.
Mhm.
That's what he used to say. The self-actualized individual, Abraham Maslow used to say, has peak experiences where they're just in the moment being and experiencing. But he never got to the transcendence of the mind, really. He never got to that understanding fully.
That's a psychologist who, he proposed different stages of consciousness. Is that? Yeah. In the 50s, 60s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
late 50s or 60s.
It was very revolutionary at the time. The other thing you said something about repeating the name of God. Saints like Papa Ram Dass got liberated saying Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, and just subsumed everything in the name and the love of God in chanting the name. So it's the same process. It's just for different people. There's different, there's all the different ways up the mountaintop, and they all meet. So certainly that's a way to get to that point.
Thank you. Saira.
All ways lead to Rome or to the mountaintop. So, you just, there 8 billion, 9 billion people on the planet now, and then 8 to 9 billion ways to the mountaintop. The name of God is a great way to go. It's very wonderful. It really does work. So, all right. Let's meditate.
Brother David has a question.
Oh, David, hi. Yes.
I was going to add some answer here. I think you can practice, and the way, because, and this comes from actually what you were saying, it's just another piece of it. If you stop and remember the feeling of being in meditation, and you try to remember it, it's kind of like there used to be this kid song, whistle a happy tune, and you'll become happy. And if you do that enough, it really will get you in that mood, and you'll learn how to be there in every day.
Very good.
That's
Very good.
And that goes with method that you said. Swami said it's all method. There's a method. So that's all. And the other thing I wanted to say is when you talked about everything, the explosion, well, that's beyond God. That's Atma. And it made me think, well, Swami's really holding kindergarten classes over here. And we're kind of starting from there and coming backwards. So that's all. I don't know if that made sense, but thank you.
The absolute Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, is beyond the word God. But technically, that is God. But we can't conceive of that as a concept. It's beyond words and beyond description. So, but we are that. Never born, we were never born, we will never die. So only the created universe is born and dies. So everything happened after the Big Bang is born and dies. We have never been born and we will never die. We precede the Big Bang.
There's a great deal of static coming over. I don't know if that's something coming from you. Does anyone else hear it?
It sounds good for us, brother.
So that's just me. Okay.
Listen to the recording.
Go beyond our words.
Okay, Sairam, let's go.
Thank
Mute your mics, please, so we don't get feedback. That might be why some static. Let's ohm a couple, 3 times, and then we'll go.
Check your posture. Make sure your back is straight, head erect, shoulders relaxed. Take in a deep breath. Breathe out. Breathe in here. So. Breathe out. Hum. Breathe in. So. Breathe out. Hum. Breathe in. So. Breathe out. Hum. Do this on your own and listen to the breath, how it makes the sound. Concentrate on every breath. I am that. I am that. So hum. I am that. Ask yourself, what does this mean? Use your brain to find God. Give it some work. Concentrate. What does this mean? I am that. Who is this I that is not the ego? Who is beyond this body and mind, senses? Who is it? Who am I? With each breath, body proclaims the sound of God within us. Each breath says, I am God. I am that. That eternal one, oneness. I am. Go a little deeper if you feel yourself losing concentration, thinking about something else. Just gently bring your mind back. Who am I? What is my breath saying? I am. So hum. Go deeply within. Look deeply. Feel deeply. Real I. One without a second. I am. By the body that decays and grows old, disappears. By the feelings that change constantly. By the monkey mind, always chattering, thinking. This thing, that thing, the opposites. Sometimes happy, sometimes sad. Sometimes peaceful, sometimes angry. Sometimes giving up and detached. Sometimes grasping and greedy. That can't be the truth. Always changes. The truth never changes. Who am I? I am the truth. Truth, consciousness, bliss. Who am I? Go deep within. Truth, unchanging. Awareness. Divine bliss. Who am I? Sai Baba, meditate within you. Divine love. The mind cannot comprehend. The heart filled with the Lord knows everything, knows oneness. Just relax in this love. Who am I? In truth, the unchanging reality. Who am I? Feel a unity of love, bliss. It's our true self. When the mind comes out of it, just remember that we're just like little children sitting on God's lap, sitting on Baba's lap, just enfolded in love, protected in love. We just keep going to unity. We're safe. Let God meditate through us. Oneness. Just go deeper. Knowing you're always protected. We are always, always in God. It's nothing else. Only God's love. Only God's truth. Our real self. Feel oneness. Our thoughts stray, come back into Baba's love. Is no body, he is not a body. It's the infinite absolute. Totally safe. Come into that total absolute God.
Rest in this love. This love is like the sun. It shines from you. It fills everything, everywhere, everyone. It brings God awareness to all beings. It is who we really are. Be that now. The heart knows love, the mind feels love, but it cannot know love. The mind is not capable of knowing real love. The heart knows it. The mind tries to understand it. But real love is beyond the mind. Be that now. Let everything else go. The joy of love. Let's pump it up a bit. Our mind can dwell on the name of the Lord. Let's just take one name this moment. With this mind. Om Saishwaraya Vidmahe Satya Devaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat. A form of the absolute that we know as Sai Baba. We turn to that form for ultimate dissolution of the ego and transcendence into the absolute knowledge and the wisdom of love. Before that, I am nothing. I surrender to that. This ego surrenders to that. That's what this mantra really means. And the light of wisdom comes. That's what this mantra really means. Shirdi Sai, Sati Sai, Prema Sai. JJ, they're all one, not three. All one. Krishna Rama, all one. Not five, all one. Om Saishwaraya Vidmahe Satya Devaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat. Om Saishwaraya Vidmahe Satya Devaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Pick one name, one form, stick to it. Full awareness. Aham Brahmasmi, the fourth level of liberation. Living it daily will come. That's God's promise. Be that now, that eternal love. Let everything else go. Keep letting it go. Mind can dwell on Om. Then the Om will bring it home. Om. In the name of God you adore. Om. All into that. Let everything go. All into the absolute. Om. If there's karma left in a life, the karma will kick the mind into thoughts and feelings when we go deep into meditation. So don't be disturbed by the mind's thoughts and feelings. You're dissolving the stresses, dissolving the karmas. Grace of God is here. Grace of God is here. Just ask for it. Swami, shower your grace upon me, please, that I may be oneness of love, walking, talking, breathing, acting, living each and every moment of the day and night. Swami, for grace, please. Whatever's name and form of Swami you adore. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namo Narayana. Om Jesus, Buddha, Vishnu. Om, I love you. Om. The love of oneness is all there is. When the I and the you merge, let that happen. Be that now, that love embodied. Don't wait for another moment. Let go and be that now. Ask Swami to open your heart, open your soul. Let all the ego dissolve this moment. The oneness of love. Sun everywhere. Sunshine everywhere. Om Shalom. Born in the Jewish faith. Aham Brahmasmi. Buddha. Om. Satya Sai Baba. Let everything merge. The oneness of love. Love war. Born of love. We are love embodied. Love more deeply. Let it go. All the pain and suffering. Place into the fire of eternal love. So much greater than those moments of pain and suffering. Eternal love that you are. Oh, from the beginning of time. And before that, before the Big Bang, we are that. We were never born and we will never die. Before everything you know, we are that. Eternal beings of love, beyond time and space. We were never born and we will never die, says Krishna to Arjuna, and Sai Baba to every devotee. We were never born and we will never die. We are that which gave birth to all that is. Om, the source of Om, be that now. Dare be true to yourself. There is no I. There is only God, the I am I. I am I. That is all there is. No independent I, no ego I, only the I am I within all there is. I am that. Let it go, everything you think you are. Let it go, everything others think you are. Let it go. Be who you really are. Om, the source of Om, the source of the Big Bang, the source of all that is. Om. You were never born and you will never die, says the eternal Satyasai. Oh. Keep letting go. Mind may reappear. Keep letting it go. Clouds in the sky of consciousness. That's all thoughts and feelings are. Observe them. Don't participate. Let it go. I am the eternal oneness of love. I am that I am. Hum Brahmasmi. Love more. Shower your grace upon us, O Lord, the form we adore and the formless. Please. Hum Brahmasmi. Go deeper. Dig deeper with the shovel of love, the name of God. Oh. My Father, Mother God, let us be one. Radha Krishna, let us be one. Now, just be where you are. In your consciousness, relax. Just be. Don't strive. Just be. Just be and be happy. For God has us exactly where He wants us, she wants us to be. Just be happy with what is. Be at peace with the love that you live this moment. Be at peace. Be happy with what is, for God is the only doer. Reality. God is the only. And when you feel ready, make a vow. Take a vow tonight, inside yourself, between you and God. Something like this. God, I live to love all and serve all. I live the benefit of all beings. Flow through us in the oneness of love, O Lord. Flow through this self, this body-mind vessel, in the oneness of love. Thy will be done. Let all that I thought I am be surrendered to the oneness of the truth, me, the oneness of love. Thy will be done. Let me love all and serve all from this moment forth, to live for that. Hurt never and help ever. From this moment forth, I live for that. You are the only doer. Love through this, live through this, speak through this, feel through this. Bring peace to earth and all the universe through this. The oneness of love through this. Sharanagati. So begin to breathe this love, this consciousness of oneness, this Brahman consciousness. Breathe it into this physical temple of God in which we dwell and call the body. Embodiments of love, we are. Breathe that reality into the physical temple and the altar of the heart, coming back into this reality of everyday life in God, not in anything else. Breathe it back into the physical vehicle. Go ahead. Swami used to describe his brothers and sisters. This body has these relatives. This life, this father, this mother, this body That's how he used to describe what we called Satya Sai Baba. That's the right attitude. This body mind has these tasks, this dharma, this karma, these relatives, these friends, this body mind, not I. I am that. Think like that in the waking state, and you are free forever. Constant integrated awareness. Breathe it back into this temple. Walk, talk, breathe, love, act, feel God in everything. Everywhere, all the time. Coming back in. Let us own for peace on earth, that all beings may waken up, be awake to their God self, their love self, their peace self, their oneness of divine life. All beings may be happy and healthy and prosperous, and may all their needs be met. May all their good dreams come true. May their satisfaction of their desires be there, so that all may move beyond them. Only good desires be satisfied, nothing else. Oh. Peace on earth, God's kingdom on earth. Oh. A golden globe of love, that's the Mother Earth this moment. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. The golden heart of the Mother, the divine golden heart of the Mother of the universe, is in each and every one of us. May there be peace on earth. So take a good 3 minutes before opening the eyes. You can do alternate breath pranayama if you like, up the left, out the right, up the right, out the left, if you like, if you know it. To go into meditation, we breathe up the left and out the right. But to come out, we can breathe up the left, out the right, up the right, out the left. It makes us mind more active. Helps us come back into our temples. Trees in the forest, strongly rooted in the Mother Earth, all our energies flowing, penetrating the soles of our feet right into the core of the Mother Earth, grounding us like trees in the forest. Breathing deeply the light of love, the leaves, and the sunlight of God. Walking, talking, breathing, acting divinity on earth, each one of us. Grounded. Okay. So how's everybody doing? Just think a minute. How I feel right now compared to how I felt before meditating today. I know I feel a lot better. So, any questions or anything, sharing, or whatever anybody wants to say before we end for tonight?
Thank you.
God, thanks.
Thank God.
Thank God. I'm in this boat just like everybody else. I'm trying to get to the other shore too.
I find it a lot more powerful when we do it together than when I do it alone.
Yeah.
I don't get that on my own like that.
The Shakti of Satsa.
Mhm.
It's very potent. Swami says well, Jesus said it, when two or more are gathered, there I am. Meaning one with the Father. He said it when he was one with the Father. He knew that. That's what he said.
Mhm.
Swami encourages us to have satsang. We all support each other in our evolution, transformation. It's nice.
Thank you.
That's our Okay. Anybody else want to share before we end? Say anything? Okay.
Thank you for coming on every month. I really look forward to it.
Oh, we're happy. Tell your friends. Our group is becoming smaller. It should be
Bigger.
expanded, right?
I have to do some more marketing work.
Yes, it's the summer. It's
Yeah.
the summer.
Yes, there's so much fun out there until the sun sets.
No, I think we got to tell more people about this. And I've been sending it, but maybe I have to reach out to different audiences.
It would be good.
Yeah.
Let everybody know so
Yes.
that more can know.
Yeah, our usual magic number is 19. And I was surprised that the core group is traveling, some of them. They said, please record it. I want to see it later. So
Uh-huh.
let's stop recording now.